Hi everyone, welcome to Maximum Attack Rallying and your Thursday dose of rallying chit chat. It's maybe a little bit of a quiet period in WRC terms after a thrilling rally Finland that's threw lots and lots of things up in the air. It's actually been quite an exciting few weeks, hasn't it? Obviously we had Oliver Solberg winning in Estonia in his Toyota Rally 1 debut, and then we had a very exciting rally Finland indeed, finally Kalle Rovanperä getting his home win, and then Hyundai having this disastrous weekend, and then Sebastian Ogier declaring that he is in fact going to go for his 9th world title. It's been a thrilling few weeks, but now we've got a little bit of a pause, 3-week gap before we go to Paraguay, so just a little bit of a gap in WRC terms, but that does not mean that there is other rallying out there. And this weekend we have a very good example of that, because the British Rally Championship returns, and it's been a while since I've talked about the BRC, so let's talk about that and the Grampian Rally. This is, of course, the return of the BRC after the Jim Clark rally, where we tragically lost Di Roberts. He was involved in an accident while co-driving for James Williams. Thankfully, James is on the mend, but you know, I know that Di is going to be in everyone's thoughts this weekend. That was, you know, very difficult and a real tragedy. So I know, as I said, that Di will be in everyone's thoughts this weekend as the crews get back in the saddle in Scotland for this one. So we're not a million miles away from Aberdeen for the Grampian Forest Rally. Lovely Scotland. It's been a long time since I've been to Scotland, but it is a beautiful part of the world and has some very nice forest roads for us to get our teeth into. So we have a 2-day event to look forward to. There are 2 stages on Friday evening, Hobseat and Hurley Bog at let me just check, 11.07 and 6.31 kilometres a piece, so a little taster of the action. We've got another 8 stages on Saturday, so that gives us a rally total of a tiny smidge under 89 kilometres. Longest stage on Saturday is Scare Hill at just under 12 kilometres, so it should be an interesting event. Obviously not as long as we're used to if you follow the WRC, but still a decent chunk of kilometres for the competitors to get their teeth into. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And on that note, I think we should talk about the crews a little bit, shouldn't we? So I did put a little bit of a clickbaity thing in the thumbnail, didn't I? Because I do want to talk about the BRC entry and kind of the state of things. But before we get to that, let's just have a quick run through who's where and who might come out on top on this one. So William Creighton leads the field. Good to see him back. Obviously not done every round this year, but he will be in the MEM Castrol Yaris Rally 2. So that is great to see going for the championship. Behind him, however, we have Romet Jurgensen. And I think it's tough to call between those two. Obviously, Romet is competing part-time in WRC. He's done a few different events. He was in IPA as well. So a very talented young driver. I think it is safe to say that the Toyota is a faster car than the Fiesta. However, you know, international talent in Jurgensen. So I'm really finding it very difficult to call between those two. Behind them, we have Gary Pearson. He won a national rally recently in his Fiesta, so he's had a decent warm-up for this one. Behind Gary, we have Marion Evans in the 2nd Castrol Toyota. He's joint first place in the championship with Creighton, so he is obviously very much in the mix. Who else do we have? We've got Callum Black in another Fiesta, obviously a very talented driver as well, so he could factor, former Ashfelt champion, so and a BRC regular over the years. We also have Max McRae. He is back. Obviously he's doing a mixed campaign this year, but I did see on social media that he said he's very much looking forward to being back on the loose, so that is nice to see, isn't it? I don't think I factor him in the lead battle he is developing, but for me it is between the top 2, I would say, Creighton and Jurgensen, as I said. A few other names worth mentioning. We've got Matthew Hurst, very capable driver, but not in the latest machinery. Has upgraded to a Skoda Fabia R5 recently, but you know, that while that is still a very capable car, isn't it? It isn't obviously on the level of the latest stuff. It's a few years old, that car. So that is very interesting. I will talk about the juniors quickly as well. That field is led by Kyle McBride, an Irish celebration as always. We've got Joseph Kelly, Jack Brennan, and Callum Graffin. We've also got Sam Mason, Natalie Robinson, and Megan O'Kane is the last BRC entry in an R2 Fiesta. So not in the junior battle, but that is the two-wheel drive entry, I suppose. But yeah, the junior thing is where would we be without the Irish contingent in the juniors? It is incredible, isn't it? Obviously part of the Stellantis Rally Cup UK and Ireland, this one, so that is nice to see. And I think, though, that leads me nicely into the point about the entry. So you will possibly know that I was in France a month or two ago at Rally Vosges Grand Est, and I think seeing the one make championship there, comparing it to the Stellantis Cup UK and Ireland, and I no discredit to the organisers, they do a great job with that championship, and it is incredibly difficult organising one make championships, especially in the UK and Ireland, where we don't seem to gravitate towards the FIA cars as much. But you know, having been to a French Rally Championship round, I have to say I do have a little bit of concern about the BRC right now. So for this Grampian Forest Rally, I think there's 90 cars on the entry in total, and just 17 of those, from what I can see on EWRC, are registered for the British Rally Championship. So that is not a very strong entry, is it, when you look at France and the number of Rally 2 cars they get in the French Championship? Look at Belgium, look at Ireland as well. In fact, you know, the number of Rally 2 cars that are registering for French, Belgian, Irish championships is incredibly high. And in the UK we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would say that in Ireland you're going to get 3 times that at least, aren't you? Probably. Same in Belgium, same in France, I would suspect. So I'm just a little bit concerned. I don't want to be too negative. The BRC has been in a really good place for the last couple of years. We've had some really good battles. We've had some really good drivers. You know, now we've got Jurgensen, international driver in a factory, you know, M Sport Fiesta. So there are good things, you know, we've got the Castrol team in those Toyotas. There are good things. I'm just a little bit concerned about maybe we're losing a little bit of momentum. Obviously, Creighton elected to not do the full championship this season. Who else? Keith Cronin has decided to have a bit of a step back. I know he's scaled back his programme in general this year in Ireland as well. We don't have Osian Price this weekend, so that's a bit of a shame. You know, so it just feels like some of the names have dropped away a little bit, and I'm just a little bit worried that we might be starting to lose some of that really good momentum. You know, and when we've got an ITV deal to worry about, we need to keep the championship in as rude health as possible. So I really hope for the next round we see a few more entries, because I say this, I'm not saying this in a way to be critical to the organisers and to the, you know, to Motorsport UK or anyone like that. I say this because I really want to see the British Rally Championship be successful. You know, if you go back, I've said this so many times, everyone says this, don't they? If you go back, the British Championship was the premier championship. It was the feeding ground for the WRC for so many years. If you wanted to prove yourself and move up to the WRC, you came through the UK. You know, Vatanen, so many big names have competed in the BRC, McRae, Burns, obviously. And while we might not hit those heights again, I think it is just it's a shame, isn't it, that we're not even on the level that we were at you know, I want to say in the 90s, late 90s, I suppose. So it's just, I want to see us on the same level at least as Ireland, France, Belgium, you know, other parts of Europe which have obviously got thriving championships. So I hope we can find a way. I hope we can continue to find a way to attract more entries, keep that TV deal going, and just keep some momentum. I don't want to see things fall down, really. That's kind of what I wanted to say. I'm just a little bit worried that as the year goes on, you know, if one driver starts to get an advantage, we might see a couple more names drop off, and then, you know, then the organisers have got some real problems again, haven't they? And they're going to have to be asking really big questions for next year. And I don't want them to have to do that. The only question I want them to be asking is, what are we going to do with all these entries that we've got? So a little bit of a worry there. Anyway, let's not end on a negative note. Let me know in the comments below who you think is going to win this weekend. Is it Creighton, Jurgensen, or someone else entirely? Let me know. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Follow me on socials, and I will see you again next time.